if you don't like Jim Eagle, then you ain't black. Like,
who the fuck is Jim Eagle?
I don't know. No one's Jim Eagle. No one is Jim Eagle. There's no. I don't know, bro.
Who's Jim Eagle? You have to this is the first thing that comes up. I type in Jim Eagle, and the first thing is, who is Jim Eagle? Biden's Jim Crow analogy explained. Everyone else had the same reaction I did. I just want to leave it here. I don't even want to click on it.
It's just a picture of him just looking really confused.
Yes, a topic of conversation is who the fuck is Jim Eagle? What did he mean, and who is Jim Eagle?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Holy crap, that was clipping there just a little bit. Welcome to the Light Roast. It's Tuesday. We're here. You can see us. You can hear us. I hope. I'm your host, Damian Turner.
I'm Jason Jones.
It's good to see everybody. Theoretically, it's good to see you. I can see you.
I can see you.
It's good for you to see us.
We hear each other really well.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. It's good
see each
for
other really well.
I'm glad
that's what matters.
Glad to see and hear you. It's good for them. It's good for you all to see us. It's such a pleasure for you to be here with us. And no, I'm very happy to be here.
Bitches.
We run shit.
That's right.
We run shit, and you like it. You sit there and take it. No, we're very happy. I'm very happy to be back in our favorite space.
Yeah.
During the week, it's become mine. It's my respite from from the rest of the hectic world.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice place to vent and, get it out.
Yep.
Yeah. Play with some cool new gear. Look at this.
We got toys.
Fun.
You got toys. We got new little arms here. We got new desktop arms for our microphones. You got a new microphone. You was using that microphone in the last episode.
Yep.
That was the Zoom episode, which just went so smooth. And no, man, that was fun. Herb was awesome. Three Bears Gaming was great. That whole experience kind of got me pulled into Twitch a little bit further.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he just kind of got me into the practice of following people and rating and participating.
Cool.
And I sat in, I think it was the day after our show. Herb had a show. So Lucas had a show that night, and I hung out with his show that night for a little bit.
Yeah.
They were doing some gaming, and then Herb had a show for Trans Visibility Day. And that was super cool, just to kind of just listen, just to be there and just kind of watch everybody kind of have a conversation and watch him facilitate and kind of mediate that and listen to people's experiences and where they were at. And it was cool. It was cool to just be a part of and just kind of be a fly on the wall. Not that I didn't talk, but,
Yeah, no, I mean, he had a lot of great insight and lots to share, and that was really cool.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. What's
Sweet.
up, Herb?
Herb.
If you're watching.
Hi.
So, I don't know about you, but I'm so glad that part of the purpose of this show is to drink coffee. Because if I just had a regular podcast, I'd just be the guy in the podcast who drinks way too much coffee.
Sure.
Like Damien's just constantly just chugging coffee. That's why I made this show about this.
Yeah.
Let's have a show about our addiction so that we can indulge it.
I, at this point in my day, probably do not need the coffee we're about to have.
I do. I'm super tired.
Oh, I want some.
Yeah.
I probably don't need it.
I need it. I need it. This week has been rough. It's been a long rough week.
Yeah, I feel that.
Family stuff and taxes and taxes, which were really complicated. It was a lot this year.
Yep.
I mean, when you invest in the stock market like I do,
yeah, man,
you've got some extra,
you gotta pay those capital gains.
Yeah, those $6 in capital gains I made through Robinhood last year.
Yeah, you're up 100% on that stock, I think.
No, I'm up 200%.
200%.
Yeah. No, 300. I tripled my money.
4 to 12.
Yeah, they gave me. I mean, really, if you think about it, I'm up.
That's great.
It's not even. You can't even percent wise it. I'm up $12 because my brother was like, bro, you got to sign up for Robinhood, man. They give you free stock, bro. And then they're like, you could get up to $1,000 or whatever the hell it was of free stock. And then they're like, here's $4 of Bloom Energy that's been steadily falling for the past 5 years. And then somewhere out of nowhere, it went up like 300% before it dropped right back down to where it was. And I happened to catch it on that day. And I was like, I'll take my $6, please. And fuck you, Robinhood, forever. And then I uninstalled the app.
It's so funny. Like, I've seen some people that have like gotten some really banger stocks by signing up with some of these companies, and like they're sign up, you have a chance to get something. I'm like, man, you know they're gonna throw you some bullshit. Everybody's expecting bullshit. I mean, some people, I don't know how they distribute those things. Who knows?
I don't know, but whatever. I don't even have the I don't even think I got the money. I pulled it. It's just like in my Robinhood.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't have it.
It's in US dollars in the account.
Yeah, in the account.
Yeah, right.
Like I never cashed it out.
Yeah.
It's just in there.
Yeah. Dude, you can turn it around. You can trade another one. Find something else.
I could. I sure could. Yeah. Right there with them if I wanted to. I don't want to.
I'm really interested in supporting like certain industries. Like I'm really wanting to, I really want to buy some stocks in cannabis, but I don't know exactly which company to support. Right. So now you can buy like little groups of stocks that all support a variety of cannabis companies. I think that's fucking cool. If you really don't want to, invest in fucking oil and all that shit, there's some cool industries that really could use your funding.
Yeah, that's true. Or you could be a bastard and just you could bet against subprime auto loans that are packaged together to look like better auto loans, like they did with the housing market.
Yeah, right.
'Cause they're doing that now with the auto industry. Get ready.
Oh yeah,
get ready. It's gonna be fun.
It does feel like there's got to be a car. I think there's a car. There could be a car thing happening, not a boom, but
this was
crash.
This was the car crash. The auto crash of 2022.
I realized this was.
This is what they did, right? Is like this was the plan. I'm convinced. They're like, all right, first we're gonna make everybody lose their homes, so they all have to move into their cars, right? And if they're gonna be shitty cars, and then we're gonna get them slightly newer cars for but for loans they shouldn't get, and then they're all just gonna lose their home cars.
Well, that's why they took away cash for clunkers, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but not
you to upgrade your bad car.
But not cars for kids. We got to get these kids. Look, they're going to live in them, so we got to get them. We got to get them in the cars right now while they're still kids. They can't drive them, but they can live in them by themselves.
A kid will probably get you a nice car.
A car for cars for kids.
Wait, is that not the way?
What was that? No, it was like cars to belong to kids.
About that the wrong
You were thinking about that's
trading in a kid for a car.
That's cars for kids spelled with a Q. That's the Q cars for kids.
Oh, dude. We're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
But before we get there, you want to have some of this coffee?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think the water's already hot,
yes.
So I think I can just grab it.
Dude, okay. This coffee looks super cool, too, while you're doing that.
All right.
Yo, Guji Mane. That's why I was like, if you all saw the shot on Instagram why I'm like mean mugging with this bag. Guji Mane, bro. This looks so dope. I'm so psyched about this coffee. Guji Mane. I haven't even gone and looked into the company or anything like that yet. Jason pulled this coffee. I was over here the other day. He was like, yo, check this out. And I'm like, what? What is this? What is this about?
It was gifted to me. Like one of my friends thought all right,
bruh,
you got to have this. He gifted it to me. It's my coffee roaster friend. He's like, I think this is right up your alley, and I think it'll do well on your light roast show.
That's super cool.
So
that's funny because my homie Luz, and yo, Luz, if you're watching, I got your message. I mean to get back to you. I've just been scatterbrained and doing too much stuff, but I'm not ignoring you. She sent me a video clip of somebody looked like he was a South or Central American guy, and who was I don't know, he had something to do with coffee, but he was kind of pissed. He was kind of angry about it. I was like, this guy's kind of intense, but he was definitely talking about some our land and where the coffee comes from and indigenous people, and I was like, that's dope. I don't know if that vibe is right for this. I don't know if she was saying have this guy on. I was like, he seems a little,
There are there are definitely some places in the world where, sure, that's an issue.
Right.
For sure. Like we probably should.
I mean, it's definitely
like we need to be doing definite fair trade with some of these groups and
like
with everyone growing coffee, and everyone needs to be getting paid enough money.
Like this is dope. This is dope right here, and I don't even know what this means exactly, but anti-gentrification. Spelled gentrification wrong, but they anti-gentrification coffee club. That might be on purpose. They spelled coffee with an X, right? Yeah, anti-gentrification coffee club subscription box, 2 bags of Guji Mane a month for $40. That's not bad. That's not a bad deal.
Too bad. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, for a small local supplier,
Yep.
and honestly, like these are
for like a
for quality roasting and to keep it fresh and keep the turnover quick. Yeah, you got to charge
this is like
closer to $20.
Well, this is a bigger bag. This is a bigger bag than the
Right.
What do you call the Onyx that I got?
Right. Some of them are like only 10 or 12 ounces.
Right.
That's probably a full 16.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but they definitely have like some 8-ounce bags for sure. So this comes from a company called Coffee Black or Ethnos Coffee. It looks like there's 2 websites for it, I guess. Yeah, Ethnos Coffee Roasters. Man, they really have some really cool looking stuff. So it looks like Ethnos has a few other brands underneath them, and Guji Mane is one of them. Like few different outlets. I don't know if these are just like outlets or like just different roasts, but
it could be. I think it's a different roast. I think the Guji Mane is their Ethiopian light roast, or their or one where they like found some beans, gave it a roast, and then named it their Guji Mane bean. You know,
maybe. But there's a whole.
But I don't know. You're looking at it. I haven't seen it yet.
But there's a few things, right? There's a couple different things. You've got Coffee Black, and then you've got Ethnos Coffee, and they're both like repping Guji Mane.
Okay.
But yeah, it may just be.
I wonder.
Yeah, like see, and they've got Black is Gold, Columbia Yalton Caicedo, Guji Mane collection. So Guji Mane is a collection, which is so dope. Like that's so like black folks to like do. They didn't just do like, oh, this is like our coffee line. No.
It's a collection.
This our coffee collection. This our collection.
I like that.
So, well, I guess what I'm trying to get to here is this appears to be
line of
very much appears to be a black coffee roasting company, perhaps a sub company, or they've sold to Ethnos Coffee. I'm not sure, but Coffee Black, the people who do Guji Mane. Well, let's just knock my mic over there. We've got a new microphone set up, and I'm learning to use it. Is how that
it did. You're right. It did
working.
take me like the first few times of like sitting here with it to try to figure out how
to like mount it the right way.
I played my drums with it the other night and kind of had it kind of rigged up, and I could not stop fucking with it. Like,
nice.
Jeez.
Nice. So, okay. Here we go. This is what we're gonna do right here. Coffee Black is primarily an entrepreneurial venture with specific social implications, started by Bartholomew Jones and Renata Henderson to reclaim the black history of coffee and remain its black future. I think maybe they mean retain its black future. I'm not sure. Bartholomew says the goal is to generate a profit from apparel and events and consultations, and then use those funds to provide opportunities for people of origin to create and generate inspiring work. His wife Renata does a lot of the graphic design through her company, Brown Girl Lettering. Why the X? In math, X represents the variable, and that's what we're all about, highlighting the variables God has placed in each person to create a better sum. The X is also what black people have historically used to replace the sugars and cream they were given as a last name during slavery. Interesting.
Whoa.
Interesting thing there. Most did this until they found a connection with their origins powerful enough to become their new family name. The X served as a fulcrum to connect them to their natural notes as humans. I like this, what they're doing with the language here. I like that. That's creative. And that's exactly what we want to do as well, he explains. Henderson started Coffee Black just like he started his musical journey in college as an experiment. What would happen if coffee culture loved people of color as much as it loved their cash crops? Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. What if we cared for and celebrated single origin people as much as we celebrated single origin coffee? He asks. Coffee Coffee Black is a social experiment interested in exploring the impact people can have when they are empowered to live with no sugar and no cream. It's a hip-hop cipher over a cup of probably overpriced coffee between the people who grew it, the people who roasted it, and the people who consume it daily. I like that. I have no hate for that. So and then this is what he has on the back of the bag, what they have on the back of the bag. Now, the sticker on the back of this, as you can see, kind of ripped off some of the lettering here. So some of this is missing. We weren't able to make it out.
I tried to take it off so carefully. I knew the sticker was on it.
Right. So we've got the coffee I don't know if that's plant or plantation. Coffee plant. Africa. Utch. The first in Jamestown, Virginia. Well, that's something messed up there. Jamestown was fucked up. So something probably about coffee and slavery. And this is what look, he was like, the white folks took this coffee from us in slavery. We taught them how to do it. We were like, this is what we did in Ethiopia. And then they were like, give us that coffee, N-word. And we were like, we have to because you will beat us. And that happened in Jamestown. And then that's why all those white people disappeared from Jamestown when they went back looking for them, because all the black slaves killed them after they took the coffee recipe. And then they cursed the coffee, and that's why Starbucks sucks. That's what it says on the back of the bag. No, we are finding our liberation as a people, and now we are liberating our birthright. This coffee is diaspora history, and it, like us, was created to be taken black. No sugar, no cream, the way God intended. This is not about diminishing your preference. This is about reclaiming our destiny. Hashtag coffee black. I'm with it.
Dude.
I'm with it.
That lands with me so well. Here, that's the rest of that. You can have.
Some Malcolm X coffee.
Dude, I've got my old Waffle House coffee.
How you not going to serve me the coffee first?
I can. Here you go. Here you go, brother.
I'm messing with it.
I don't want to mess your laptop up. That's why I'm nervous about pouring.
That's why I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
You can ruin your laptop. I'm not going to.
I don't know why I tried
I just brewed next to it. That was making me nervous enough.
Oh no, you're good.
Dude, so the way they have talked about black coffee and not choosing cream or sugar has been something I have been saying to people for years and years. And you've probably even heard me say my little spill, like either at the burn or even in my kitchen, where I'm just like, all right, look, I'm going to offer you coffee right now. And the only thing that I ask of you is that before you put any cream or sugar into it, please try what I make for you black. Just give me 1 or 2 sips.
Yep.
Just try it. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
I don't even want necessarily your opinion, but I want you to try it, and that's how I'm going to make it for you. And after that, you can put cream and sugar
you want to it.
You want. But it's because I swear that they're like 90% of the people that I run into have never really had a good, well-sourced, well-roasted, fresh, well-brewed, decent cup of coffee.
Right. We're used to our mass-produced, hurry up, give it to me fast.
Yep.
You're, you know, what...
Right, yeah.
And I hate to repeat their tagline, but, well, America runs on Dunkin'. But we do,
coffee,
though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We run on cheap, mass-produced products to basically get us to work as fast as possible. What the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, a little spam.
Mookie. Ha! What's up, Mookie? And then IR cool dude. Want to become famous? Buy followers. Prime's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't know why I'm reading this to you, audience. I thought it was funny. That's why. But yeah, so we had a cup of this coffee the other day. Yeah, so to credit your like I'm a cream and some kind of sweet type of guy. I mean I moved away from half and half and whole milk and stuff like that into I like almond milk, I like coconut milk, and I like rice. Sure. I like rice milk, but I'll cheat. I'll do it. I'll do whatever. I'll do the
I'm totally not against any of that. I just want people to have the experience before they put the cream and sugar in it. This is what is possible from a cup of coffee.
That's what I was going to say.
Just want to set the bar somewhere.
Right.
That's all.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say is that that's why I was a cream and sugar person, is because usually the coffee you're drinking it is burnt Not a high quality bean, poorly roasted, poorly made,
past its expiration.
Past its expiration. It's been sitting out for who knows how many weeks or months, so it's stale. All the flavor is gone. And you're just trying to suck the shit down so you can get on with your day, basically.
Yep.
And be able to. It's like drinking like cheap bottom shelf plastic bottle liquor. It's like you better pour that shit in some Coca-Cola.
You better mix it.
If you actually want to be able to drink enough to feel any of it, you're
not sipping on it straight.
Yeah, pour that in some Kool-Aid, right?
That's the point.
But it's like, even like, whereas you might take like a nice whiskey, and sure, some people will have that with some ginger beer. Some people will have that with a splash of Coke or whatever. If you're drinking that bottom shelf stuff, it's like, give me a glass of Coke like this big. With a shot in it.
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise there's no point. But I mean, most of the coffees that I've drank with you, and definitely this one, just they don't really need it. Even
right.
I mean, just flavor wise, there's enough going on. And this one is like, it's like soft almost. It's like got a creaminess to it just by itself.
I forget what, like, because I don't really have like Folgers or Starbucks very often or anything like that. I tend to really like brew my coffee myself, like almost every time. I guess, like, oh man, I'm having one of those like space days. I forgot where I was going with that. God damn it. Something like, I don't know. I kind of, I find it hard to kind of relate to the coffee drinker that is like really needing to put the cream and sugar in it just to make it palatable. Right. Because I'm used to, at this point, I've been doing this so many years. I'm just like, man, there's such great flavor in here. And I'm getting that softness and that creaminess and the chocolatiness and all that's really exploding in my mouth. And I'm just like, adding something to it would take away from that. I feel like, I don't know. That's just me. I'm a snob. I get it. About my coffee. It's my, that and cannabis. It's my drug of choice. They're my substance of choice all day. And if you had to tell me to pick one or the other, I mean, I might choose death.
I know, right? Dude. Oh man. Speaking of which, right? I'm still like browsing the website right here, and I just went right to the Guji Mane coffee, and I just kind of wanted to know more about it. How did the name come or whatever? It says, and basically that this guy and like a DJ were working together. He said, somebody asked him a question about the studio session. Said Ethiopian coffee isn't the expected drink of choice for a hip-hop studio that has recorded the likes of Memphis rap legends 8Ball and MJG. But for us, it was the norm. We spent most of the last 2 years recording live hip-hop improvisation sessions over freshly brewed pour-overs. We called it on the spot. Yeah. Dude, and so check this out, right? And it's got here, you can like order it from the page that I'm on, and it has the smallest amount you can buy is 4-ounce dime bags.
Nice.
Of Guji Mane coffee.
Yes, look at that.
Yo, this is my new. Yo, I know. Last time I said Onyx was my new favorite shit. Yo, Guji Mane is my new favorite shit. Bravo. And I love that. Yo, black themes like in both. I'm sure. Although Onyx didn't feel like it was made by black people, but still, Onyx black folks like to wear Onyx. I like it. I'm still with it. It had skulls on it. It was all black. I'm with it. I'm definitely with this. This is super cool.
That's cool.
I'm really enjoying this coffee. It's surprisingly tasty.
And beyond their marketing, they have a solid, good cup of coffee here. Like it's one of the better ones that I've had.
Like ever. Like when really you fed this to me the other day, I was like, what? This is really good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got like all the right, I don't even know what I would say, like what notes it has to it or anything. I guess it tastes a little nutty, maybe a little, not fruity, but it has almost a little hint of a sour kind of something to it. But it's all just little hints. Like, how a lot of coffees, when you drink them black, there's a part to the taste that you kind of just gotta wince past. Even if it's like, even if it's pretty decent, right? There's a piece of it that, like, especially after a while, you're like, ugh, black, it can be a little rough.
Yeah.
There's none of that in this.
Yeah, it's like, it's just good. Just as it lingers in your mouth, you're just like,
Yeah. I was surprised by this. I'm still surprised by this. So yeah.
So that literally comes from the Guji area of Ethiopia. Look, Guji region. They're really well known for their coffee.
Right.
They're especially like natural process because they can do the natural process there because they're high in the mountains, and so they've got altitude, plus they have a right humidity level,
right,
so that they do the fermentation and it doesn't go bad. If you live in too low of a climate or a too hot of a climate, the fermentation gets sour and it fucks up.
Right.
Or you have to adjust it in some other ways. But for them to do the original natural process, they're like at the right place in the mountains. With the right humidity, and it's pretty cool. The coffee ceremonies that they do, the Ethiopian coffee ceremonies. You ever seen any of those? Like, man, go watch some videos of some like traditional Ethiopian coffee ceremonies. They'll go out harvesting them or doing whatever work they're doing. Honestly, a group of people will sit down and they'll take out a big pan and they'll take the fresh coffee cherries and they'll roast them and then grind. Everyone will do a turn grinding the grinders, and then they put the raw coffee down in the cup, mix it with the water, and there's no brew, there's no other like formal brewing. It's like all just like kind of done in a big thing, pretty raw, pretty gritty, and they drink it and they have their few minutes of sitting down and having their little session, and then they fucking go use that energy to go back to work or whatever the fuck. But fucking
that's awesome.
Seems pretty cool. Yeah.
So okay, you ready to get into some goings on in the world? I'm like, man, I don't know what side of this I should start on. So okay, all right. Here's one to start with, and I know the least about this story, but just because it's like I could, but it's like the feeling of like I just can't just slowly watch this whole thing unfold. Like let me know what happens at the end. Although I feel like I know what's going to happen at the end, as the Derek Chauvin case has been going on.
Yeah,
it's been going on in the news. And just watching that. I mean, it's one of the worst offenses I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like it's almost worse than the Trump defense of the insurrection. It's almost like it's the same level of just like, well, you see, you can't really. I mean, can you really say that? Well, see, okay, what happened was.
See what it is? It's definitely that. It's definitely a see what happened was moment. Oh my God.
I was there. I was just there. And then I think he took a lot of drugs, and then he was old. He's not that old, but he's pretty old, and he had a heart attack. I think he took what happened was he had a drug attack, and then
I was dead at the time.
Yeah, I was dead, but the drug attack, he tried to kill me with his drug attack, and I was like, no. And then he just died. I don't know. He just died. But if I did kill him, I'd be within my rights to kill him, because what a horrible person. But I didn't, though. I didn't. But if I did, it would be fine. But
OJ did the "but what if I did" thing, didn't he? He wrote a whole book.
Yeah, he wrote a whole book. If I did it. And then the family or something like sued him, and they re-released the book with like the "if" like really, really small in the I. So and you see the book from far away, it just says "I did it." O.J. Simpson, I did it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's a whole different crazy. But yeah, that's been going on, and I have so little faith that like anything is gonna happen to that officer. Sure. Like
I have zero faith in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
it's so sad.
And like I've seen a couple clips of the trial where I'm just like there was one I watched like yesterday where they interviewed a black police officer, I think, about him, and he was like, oh yeah, this guy was like total problem all the time, like shouldn't have been out there. Yeah. He was all this was against his training. Right. And you could
the sheriff.
The sheriff. Yeah. And I'm just like, I want to be like, haha, like bet you didn't guess this, bet you didn't think this guy was coming out, did you? Oh, you must be shitting your pants watching this black man up there like
and I'm still going, but at the same time that might not be enough.
It's likely not going to be enough, because it never is.
How is that
enough?
It's
never enough. Because that's the plan. He did do it. That's the thing, right? Is the sheriff is like, absolutely did not do what the training. Yes, he did. It's like Biden, like, this isn't us. This is not who we are.
Yes, it is.
This is exactly who we are.
Exactly
We're a bunch of selfish, childish, petulant, petty racists.
Yeah.
That's who we are as people. That is what America is made of. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of petty racists,
we're the terrorists.
Speaking of petty racists and Biden saying stupid stuff, Brian Kemp.
What a shame. This guy.
He's another one of those people that there's just not enough bad things that you could say about him.
Oh no, he's like an adult Pinocchio, you know. He's just like he looks kind of like a wooden.
He's like a human droopy dog. That's what he looks like in the face.
Like
he looks like a human droopy dog. Like
Gotcha. Yeah.
He's just like, I don't like it when black people get to vote. Oh boy.
He calls it COVID, and I'm so goddamn annoyed with how he called COVID-19. COVID-19. It's like, God damn, you sound like every fucking Georgianer I grew up around. Fuck you.
Oh my god, dude! This whole thing.
Every Georgianer I hated.
I forget who it was that I was watching. I think it was like Stephen Colbert or something like that. They were talking about how he, he signed this thing. He signed this law, behind closed doors in a locked room with only white men underneath a painting of a plantation.
Yeah, right. Right.
And then he's like, "No, this is not racist, and it's not related to COVID,
and it ain't, and it has nothing to do with the lie perpetuated by my boss, Trump."
And did you hear he like gave all these? He's like, look, Georgians already have a whole lot of voting rights. He's like, they have too much time to vote. We have a lot of time, more than a lot of other states. We have a lot. And it's real easy to vote by mail in Georgia. We just made it a little less. It was really easy. Compared to a lot of other states, we just made it a little less easy. You have a lot of rights here in Georgia, like it was some sort of a present or something. Yeah. Oh, come on. Why is Jesse calling? No.
Come on, Jesse.
I bet he knows I'm on too. He's like, "Hey, I saw you were on live, so I called you."
Right.
No, bro. Decline. Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Dude. And it stopped shooting my shot. All right, I got to put my phone in airplane mode, which I should have done before.
I probably should have too.
Yeah,
I meant to. Fuck.
I forgot to do it. That particular friend of mine will only call me when I'm in the middle of doing so. I mean, I don't think he always means it. Not always. He does sometimes. Mm-hmm. He's the guy where I'm like, "Hey, man, I've got to go." And he's like, "Just give me 5 more minutes." I'm like, No, I have to go. He's like, "Just let me finish the cigarette." No, I have to go. I have to go right now. No, I'm done. I'm done talking to you now. I love you. Go away. All right, airplane mode.
Lady T
turn
says,
on.
Perhaps I've never had a really good coffee because I think it only smells good. I usually stick to green tea with lemon. I'd love to make you a good cup of coffee sometime.
Yeah, Mom, probably.
That will if we ever find each other in the same space at some point in the future. There's very good chance that there's some good coffee close by.
If we go out to Vegas for you guys to work, she's out there. We'll meet her. Yeah.
Awesome.
Totally.
Awesome. Because it's one of the first things I do when I go to a new city is I find a good roaster. It's something I do at this point before I even get to the city. I try to find where are we staying? Where's the coffee roaster? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just have to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, Mama. I would guess you probably haven't ever had a cup of good coffee on the level that we're talking about.
I don't know.
I'm probably not.
I leave space for just people not liking it, people not wanting the caffeine, that level of caffeine.
That's not the case. But I was going to add.
Well, she drinks tea, so
right.
Yeah.
But probably also not her. Her palate totally. I'm like
that's okay.
I don't necessarily think that you would yeah, I'm going to drink this black all the time now. But I would be willing to bet that we could have you taste test a cup of coffee and you'd be surprised at how flavorful it was.
Yeah, nuanced.
Yeah, nuanced, complex.
Yeah. Cool. You hold me to it. All right.
Yeah.
Deal.
So, you know, and for anybody who doesn't know this story somehow, basically Brian Kemp, our stupid, racist, you know, Elmer Fudd of a governor. He's just like he's like a cartoon, old-timer southern guy.
Yeah, he's a relic, dude.
He's like something out of a cartoon from the 40s.
I mean, that's most of Georgia outside of the suburbs of Atlanta.
It's true. It's just
you go about 30 miles out.
Dude, Atlanta
30 miles out.
Yeah.
Of the perimeter?
Yeah.
In any direction?
In any direction.
And you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're in the country. People think Atlanta's a city. Atlanta's just a series of buildings close together deep in the country. That's all it is. It's an oasis in the country. It's a different state. People say Atlanta, Georgia, like it's like part of one place. They're two different states. There's Atlanta and then there's Georgia. Yeah.
I grew up here. I can verify.
Yeah. Yep. It's not even when people say Atlanta, Georgia, from Atlanta, Georgia, first of all, they're not saying Atlanta, Georgia. They're saying Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia is a different place than Georgia.
That's right.
People from Atlanta, Georgia don't feel safe in Georgia. I don't think that Georgia is the type of state that needs any more voting rights. I feel like all the people who have I feel like all the voting rights. That's as much as black people need. That's just as much as people need. So Brian Kemp, he made it much more difficult for not rich white people to vote, basically. If you're anybody but them, it's now harder for you to vote. ID laws are stricter. There's less time to vote. Mail-in voting is restricted. There are fewer polling locations. There's less time to register, and you better believe there's going to be voter purges out the ass. I mean, you thought there were voter purges during the last couple of elections. You thought there were voter purges during the Stacey Abrams elections. They'll just make
everyone re-register or some shit.
Well, that's what I had to.
Accidentally, the building burned down and we lost all our data. There'll be some shit like that.
I had to in the gubernatorial election 2 years ago. I had to do it. I was like,
they'll screw their own people. Yeah, that's what's so fucked up.
They'll screw their own people to screw us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to own the fucking libs, man. That's what's fucked is that, you know, everyone's just to own the libs now. And to keep black and brown people from voting because we came out and did it this time. Well, because every time we do, and because they're afraid of when we do. That's why they've been trying to prevent us from having full rights since we were freed. It's because they go, well, you know, clearly if you guys get in power, you're going to start making some changes that are going to make it less easy for us to just keep control of everything. That's what they know. They know that what they think is that I've seen black people not show retribution against white people more often than not.
I wasn't saying retribution. I was about to say, I realize that's what you're saying. What they think is that we will do what they would do.
That's okay.
In our position.
That's true.
Which is I don't know if you ever heard there was like a video clip by why did I forget his name? The comedian, the short guy, the little black guy who talks like this. And he got in a lot of trouble for cocaine a little while back. What's his name?
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams, thank you. Cat Williams, he had this, he's amazing. I love Cat Williams. He's amazing. And there's this clip of him where he was like, and it was this past summer. And he's like, now white people, I know you've been told a lot of things about us. Mm-hmm. I know you think we're coming for your homes and your freedom. I know that's what Trump is telling y'all. Mm-hmm. I hate to disappoint you, but nope, we're better people than that.
That's right.
If we were gonna do that to you, we would have done it by now. Sorry, dude. I know what you're seeing on the television. I know what you're seeing on the news. I know they're telling you we're coming to rape and steal and pillage all your house and your money, and we're coming for your daughters. Nope, sorry, we're better people than that.
Mm-hmm.
All we want is freedom. We don't want retribution. That's y'all.
Exactly, and that's They think they're losing something for anyone else to get anything,
mm-hmm.
you know, or to be even held as equal. They feel like they're coming down,
right? But that's the reality is that they've got to project that intention on us,
Yeah.
that evil intent. Otherwise, it highlights their intent to not let us have our fair share.
Right.
Which is really the intent. Well, we know if we let them get in power, they're going to make sure things are more fair toward them, and what that means is we don't get to have an unfair advantage. You know? Pulaski, not just a racial thing, was part of the specialist group once. Me, North, one guy from Georgia, and one guy from Carolina, one guy from Florida. Florida guy was fine. To the other two, I was just an ignorant Yankee who didn't know anything. Pulaski, I appreciate and understand that, and I'm going to be honest here, that knee-jerk reaction that you had to the conversation about race, but I'm just going to continue to be honest with you here. That's a knee-jerk reflection. Not just a racial thing. What's that got to do with anything? We're talking about race. If you were talking about, let's say, if you were in a situation where, I don't know, let's say you were, I don't know, married, and your wife cheated on you and took all your money, drained your bank accounts via the courts, legally, whatever, and she left, right? And you were talking about that experience. Yeah, my wife cheated on me, and she's got a real problem with anger towards men. I think she was taking that out on me. She's got kind of a mentality about sexism, and I was like, it's not just about that. What does that have to do with your experience? You know what I mean? Like, and that's not me like being angry at you, but I'm bringing this up because as a black person, man, it's like you literally can't bring it up without a white person coming at you with that as the first line. It's not just about that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is.
Right. That is
often it is.
He's right. It is often a common response in this situation.
Common doesn't even do it justice. It is almost 100%. If I bring it up with more than one white person, well, more than like just a friend who I know has the understanding is not going to do that to me. If there's one other white person in the room, well, somebody is going to say that. It's not just that.
Right.
It's not just about race. It's not just race. Well, it's really economics. Well, race and economics they are inextricably bound in our society.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not meaning to come at you, but I felt like this was a teaching moment. I would advise you going forward, if you find yourself in conversations with black people and they are talking about race and you feel the need to blurt that, to respond with that as your first line of response, I would say, refrain from that out of consideration for the black person who has had to hear that in every single conversation about race they've ever had with a group of white people.
Yes, and I have witnessed that.
I'm sure you have.
I have witnessed that.
And B, I would stop and ask myself, if I were you or in your position, why it is I feel the need to confront their experience with race with that statement immediately. I'm talking about a person's overall attitude about others, not like you, be it color or other attribute. Talking about a person's overall attitude about others. I'm not even sure what you're saying there, buddy. To be quite honest, it sounds like maybe, I don't know. It sounds like maybe you got something to work out there that's not allowing you to ingest that conversation. I'd do some work there. But so Brian Kemp and this thing. To black people, it is very clear what is going on because we've seen this before. We've seen this before a number of times. Like I said, I was purged from the voter rolls when Stacey Abrams was running for governor.
Right.
And along with a lot of other black people. And I found out about it because a black activist group sent me a text message and said, hey, check and make sure you're registered to vote, even if you already registered, because they are purging black people from the voter rolls. And and they always come to us with, that's not really why. It's really about this and that, and Republicans, they try to do this and that because they play games with the lines and it's about liberal Democrat, and they red line, and it's about economic bracket. No, they don't want black people to vote. and they find a new way to say it, every single time, right? They always find a new excuse, a new euphemism, so that they can then come in these conversations and say, it's not really about that. See, we said it was about this, that, and the other.
Right.
And if you keep making about race, you must be the racist.
That's right.
So that's why, Jim, I reject that. I reject that statement in this context, even if it does have some legitimate bearing. Yeah. Nothing is ever about one thing.
We live. I mean, that's
Nothing's
the
ever about one
difference,
thing. That's a
honestly,
given.
between, like, say, the state that we live in and the state that you live in, is that right now we are on the front lines of the battleground for what is happening in terms of race, our democracy. You know, it's all happening right fucking here. Like this may as well be fucking ground zero for this conversation. So, okay, so then maybe we're just lost in translation here. Maybe we're just not using. Maybe there's some words or some language that's kind of getting muddied up or something. So
yeah, I mean, in text it's hard to communicate.
But it's all it is, and at the same time.
But I would still.
It is a strong statement to say not just a racial thing, because we were talking about access to voting. I think that's what we were talking about, right? I mean,
right, exactly.
So what we are talking about, literally, I know that the white guys in the room with the backdrop and it's all so classic Southern traditional patriarchal racism that we're experiencing and the way they're doing it, and to have this response, and when you actually look at where the lines on the maps in our city and in our state are drawn for certain voting and certain for a certain access to money, access to certain the zoning here is insane. It's very racist. The racist zoning of Atlanta is insane. So it matters what pocket or what neighborhood you live in, what side of the street you live on.
I mean, we were just talking the other day about
very important.
We were just talking about the other day about the differences in the local and municipal governments between the county you live in and the county I live in.
We were.
We were talking about how, and the county we're in now, the county Jason lives in, is overall, I mean, technically, hands down, on paper, the better county to live in. It's not a safe county for me to be in. Cobb County, we joke about it here. A lot of other black comedians that are from here that grew up in Cobb County. Yeah, right. And this isn't a comedian thing. This is just people from Cobb. Cobb. We say it's an acronym for count on being busted, or come on, black boy. So,
I just you introduced me to that second one, but you're right.
Come on, black boy. So again, and I get you. I assume positive intent. As a general rule, I assume positive intent.
I know
people.
Jim to be a really open-minded guy who's definitely exploring some new ideas and willing to engage in some of these difficult conversations.
Right, and so
I applaud you for that.
Absolutely,
honestly.
and this is how we learn. But so if I could highlight a takeaway, Jim, it would just be that, man, I would just find another way to enter into a conversation about anything concerning race with a person of color. If a person of color tells you something is about race, man, the first thing out of your mouth, for your own sake, better not be, yeah, but it's not just about race. Just find something else to say first. Find something else to say first. Something else to contribute first. And also, if someone of color is insisting that something is about race, listen to them first before you respond. It's the same thing of like, men, if your woman comes home and is like, God, every day I'm scared to leave the house. Don't just be like, oh, you're overblowing that. No, listen to her. It's different for them than it is for us, So that's my only point there. But yeah, so anyway, right? So now there's backlash to this whole thing with Brian Kemp, because we all know how racist it is, and they're calling it Jim Crow 2.0. And I'm like, yo, 2.0.
Oh shit.
2. Fuck out of here! No, man.
It's still the first round.
No, yo, we on Jim Crow Vista. Like, we're, you know what I mean? We're like 2.0 my ass.
All I'm saying is it never ended. We're still on that. We're still on.
Yeah, but they've been updating it. No, that's not true. That's not true, because That's not true. No. They've been updating it and re-updating it.
All right.
The war on drugs was like
okay.
That was like
that was an upgrade. That was a download upgrade.
That was Jim Crow 98. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was a paid update. That was a paid
Service Pack 2.0. You know what I mean?
You had to buy a whole new Windows install.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So as a result of that, right. And oh my God, fucking Biden called the law again, right? Sick and un-American. No, it's the most American shit. Every law is this race. The law that freed black people from slavery is just as racist as this law, if not more so.
Right.
It's what allows the U.S. to basically make slaves of its prisoners. Involuntary servitude is prohibited unless you are incarcerated in the U.S. prison system. That means we can't make a slave of you unless we can convince a jury of your quote-unquote peers that you're guilty of a crime. And some of those crimes are smoking a joint. Like, there are people in jail for life because they got caught smoking a joint, and now they're just a slave forever, and they piss in your envelope glue now for a living. That's what they do for 2 cents an hour. So,
envelope glue. Who has envelope glue?
On your when you seal an envelope, the glue on the envelope.
Yeah, but I was imagining you had an envelope with no.
Oh, like with the paste?
You have a
the
thing.
Old school paste.
My brain's been doing fucking weird shit with literal language today.
You use wax and a stamp.
Actually, I think that's classy, and I love it when people do that and they write me a handwritten letter. Or you ever gotten one of those with an actual wax stamp? It feels
not with
fucking
a wax
cool.
Stamp. No,
oh,
never got one with a wax stamp.
I'm gonna get one and I'm gonna send you a letter with a wax stamp. And you're gonna see how cool it fucking feels. You're gonna be like, dude, look at that. All calligraphy and gold leaf pen.
Gold leaf pen.
Yeah,
I think that's getting
special.
That's getting less away from classy back into trashy now. Gold leaf.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Gold leaf pens.
That's Trump's department.
That's So okay, right. Speaking of, so Biden called the law sick and un-American, and he said this makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Who the fuck's Jim Eagle?
I don't.
First of all, second of all, why would you want to go out on a limb and compare Jim Crow to anything?
I think he was trying to say
what's he doing out there? Come on back, Biden.
Oh, man.
Get your old dementia ass back in here, motherfucker.
Bro. Visiting hours are over, Mr. Biden.
Put your blocks away.
It's time for your PMs. It's time for your nighttime pills.
Heat up the warm milk.
Dude, so I think what he was trying to do is I think he was this makes the he's trying to say this is even worse than original Jim Crow, which no, it's a continuation. It's not better. It's definitely, I guess you could maybe make that argument in the sense that it's a regression. It's like we have voting rights, we've had voting rights, and now you're going to take them away under the guise of we're just making things more fair. Black people have too many rights, really, don't you think? Too many.
They've measured it. It disproportionately affects black people.
They're getting too uppity. They're getting
communities of color.
They want to own businesses and stuff now. I hear them saying things like no limit. I don't like that. That's there's a limit. There's a limit, colored folks. No, we got it. It's right here. Right here. You see Colin Kaepernick? He hit the limit. We said that's enough out of you.
Yeah, even on his knee.
That's enough. Yeah.
We're
going to need you to get on both knees.
Both knees,
that's
buddy.
the problem. Is they don't want him to take one knee. They want you on both knees with your hands behind your back. We're going to need you on both knees, sir. If you'd like to, now you can pledge allegiance to the flag. Shut up and throw the ball.
Am I being detained?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was trying to say that the old Jim Crow, it made the old Jim Crow look more American, like eagle. Like eagle's the American bird.
What a train wreck of a
it was so bad, dude. Yo, but hire some writers, bro.
Definitely.
What are you?
Come on.
You don't have some comedy writers?
You got all the left-wing liberals wanting to write for you right now. Go get them.
Yeah.
hire the best, because
Yeah,
you got
man.
all of Hollywood and you got all. What a shit show, man.
I mean, at least
Dude, he's one of the richest politicians.
At least he didn't say anything about black people, you know.
Well, I mean, isn't it though?
If you if you don't like Jim Eagle, then you ain't black.
Who the fuck is Jim Eagle?
I don't know. No one's Jim Eagle. No one is Jim Eagle. There's no. I don't know, bro.
Who's Jim Eagle? You have to this is the first thing that comes up. I type in Jim Eagle, and the first thing is, who is Jim Eagle? Biden's Jim Crow analogy explained. Everyone else had the same reaction I did.
What does it say?
I just want to leave it here. I don't even want to click on it.
It's just a picture of him just looking really confused.
Yes, a topic of conversation is, who the fuck is Jim Eagle? What did he mean, and who is Jim Eagle? Let's see. Okay, God. Okay, who is in response?
Wait. Before we get into this, let's pontificate on who Jim Eagle might be. But that doesn't even make any sense, because Jim Crow wasn't like right?
Okay, you're right. Jim Eagle isn't actually a real person.
No.
Joe Biden made up the name as a play on words using
Yeah,
different
a really
bird
terrible
species to get his point across. What a
To
fucking
say that,
idiot.
yeah, it made no sense. Oh my God.
What Biden was trying to say is what
Republicans trying to do with their voting legislation is huge and far worse
than the pre-civil
rights Jim Crow. No, it's not. It's
yeah, it's not even close.
It's no.
It's not
Like
even close.
what?
Yeah. No, nothing.
No.
Glad I looked that up.
No, I would say that it, along with all of the other conditions that black people still live under, even though we say it's all better on paper, but if you look at the fact that, like, yeah, we're still being murdered by the police, and the suppression that happened immediately after our demonstrating for that and pleading for
home ownership is lower, right? Access to work and jobs and pay is lower, healthcare lower, everything's
amounts to a situation just about as bad as it was in Jim Crow. I would say it amounts to the same level of suppression of an entire culture, but is this single law worse than the whole of Jim Crow, the original Jim Crow code?
Right.
No. What the fuck are we talking about?
But what they did, actually I heard some numbers. What happened right after slavery and they released the slaves? They just made the laws so that they can put them in prison and then have slave labor, prison labor, right? And actually, statistically, the numbers were fucking almost identical. It's like you just moved the whole block over. Of people.
And they just stayed there.
Yeah,
we never
generation after generation.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a few of them had sentences where they got back out, but they were completely broken and with no opportunities, or had to be in halfway houses, and maybe some of them have kids. Enough of them to keep.
Well, a lot of them have kids. I know a lot of those kids grow up alone, and they are raised in war zones, and they're raised with little to no education and opportunities, and then they're condemned by the world for growing up the way they grew up, which was intentional and set up by the system. And it's I hope that this just shows people that it's still that way. There's still a network in place to prevent us from having the ability to succeed en masse. There's a few people that make it through, and they like to hold them up as success stories, but look, Colin Powell did it.
Barack Obama made it to be president.
Barack Obama, you had your president, so shut up.
Yeah, I heard a lot of white people were saying that in the different areas of my life, like either at work, I would hear something like, oh yeah, well now they can't complain anymore. That was like the phrase I heard so fucking much, and it was so just like disturbing.
First of all,
so stupid and inaccurate.
If I ever hear you,
the whole thing, anyway.
Well, it's like, sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, but first of all, it's like, if I ever hear somebody say that, well, they can't complain anymore. Well, you must not know any black people. because we can complain about.
Well, you've been in power this whole time. Why are you still complaining about shit?
No, well, yeah, right. Yeah. Second of all, I just take
With
it
your logic,
I'm just taking
once you've been president, you can't complain anymore, right?
I'm just taking
you've
it
had a lot of
self-deprecating.
presidents.
I'm just taking it self-deprecating first. If you know enough black people, we'll complain about some shit. Things could be fine. We will find some shit to complain about. This is who we are. This is who we are as a culture. But second of all, we have every fucking right to complain about every goddamn thing that we complain about, even if that's not the pertinent thing that's happening right now. Because goddamn it,
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they give me access to a microphone right now. Honestly, I need to take a back seat. My voice isn't wanted anymore.
No, I don't believe that either. I'm never one of those like
white people. Shut up.
Well, I hate when like.
You're not allowed
when like white people say to me, like preface something they want to say to me with like, well, I know, I'm white, so I don't have the right to say anything, and I'm like, shut up, just say what you know, have an opinion, be invested.
But I am in front of the mic, so I do realize that.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and talk.
Well, yeah, we're joking and like, right, exactly. We're fucking around. No, but so okay, so check this out, right? So that whole thing happened. Everybody's talking about this new thing, new Jim Crow. Oh, it makes the original Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle Jack. It makes him look like Jim Jack Eagle Jimmy John. Do you know Jim Eagle Jack?
Negative.
I don't. One time I met Jim Jack in Joe's place on the Eagle Talon, and. All right, I don't know. So
when he went bald, we called him Bald Eagle.
But so just like with every other decision that Georgia has made as a state over the past 5 years, this resulted in people wanting to boycott us and our businesses. Every time Georgia's like, well, let me tell you what we're about here in Georgia, then like the rest of the country goes, okay, well, we're not fucking with Georgia. Then they go, well, did we say that we hate everybody?
But that's not been their approach this time. That's not been their response, though.
It depends on who you're.
It depends on who you're talking to.
It depends. Okay. No, that's absolutely
okay.
Private Georgia Private Georgia first, like, well, let me tell you what there, buddy. We don't play that shit here in Georgia, and then LA goes, well, then we just won't do business in Georgia. We go, oh, I'm sorry. Did we say we don't play that shit in Georgia? We're actually becoming very progressive these days, and we've got a larger black and brown population than ever. It's just great. I just love it. My daughter's married to one. I just can't stand how happy I am. That's how we do it. So basically.
Yeah.
People started speaking out about Coke and Delta. They faced boycott campaigns.
Well, Trump put out a letter.
Well, right. So first, the Braves and Delta and Coke and all sorts of Georgia
Did the Atlanta Braves? Because I know MLB just pulled the All-Star game.
MLB pulled the All-Star game.
That was the thing I heard
from Atlanta. So no more All-Star game. So like once again,
and that's just miles.
Once
from here.
Again, there was some cool and a new stadium and a whole new part of town that they just built. For this to happen. It's why they built it, and we don't get it now because we're too racist. That is literally the area of the county that I live in. It's just a few miles down the road. Come on, black boy.
Like, all that money is now not in my community. Okay? All right, because our fucking governor is a goddamn racist.
Racism. Made in Georgia.
There you go. There you go. There it is.
So,
way to go.
Yeah, and then the Braves pulled the All-Star logo from their jerseys. So here's my problem with that. Like, you're still called
what a pathetic fight.
You're still called the Atlanta Braves.
Oh well, first of all, nice.
Right?
Totally.
If anybody watching has never been to or seen a Braves game, the Braves rally cry. All these white people start doing this with their little plastic inflatable tomahawks
and
going, oh,
that they leave in the parking lot on the ground.
Everybody's wearing little feathers on their head, and it's got like the symbol is of it's bad. It's bad, dude.
I mean, the old school Braves mascot is just blatantly an Indian face. You know?
Yeah, it's just a white guy with a red face doing the how thing. It's
there's all that too. Yeah, man,
it's bad. So, but they're like, well, we're not standing for the. We here at the Atlanta Braves, we don't believe in racial insensitivity. Like, I remember the first time I went to an Atlanta Braves game, I was like 9. My uncle took me, and I was happy to be there. But even at like 9, 11 years old, 9, 10, 11 years old, whatever it was, and all of a sudden everyone just, I didn't know, and everyone just fucking whips out the time. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, how is this okay? Like, I'm like, everyone just does this. This is just cool. Like, even I'm like, this is wrong. Like, this is not right.
I don't think they're honoring the Indians.
You don't think? You don't think the natives feel good about that? You don't think First Nation?
I'm gonna roll the dice.
You don't think that's you don't think that's exact that that's a dead on, rally cry? You don't think they actually got that from the?
I think
that's words. Those are engine words right there.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Yep.
It's the one engine language that I'm saying it the proper way. This is the actual word for it. They wrote it down. They said this is engine for me like corn. That's what it is. It's whoa, But we don't like racism here at the Braves. So
we don't have hate crimes in Georgia. We don't have them. We do not have hate crimes in Georgia.
No, we don't.
Because there are no hate crimes on laws.
Yeah, we have no hate crime laws.
Nope. Therefore,
so the Braves pulled the All-Star logo from their jerseys. Like, that makes a goddamn difference. And then Coke and Delta spoke out against the voting law. We don't like. We here.
I'm proud of them for doing that.
We here at Coca-Cola.
Whatever.
We have more. Yeah, but so. My point is like, it's not like they actually care. No, they don't care. They're just doing what they have to. But now they're in a heated fight with Kemp.
Yes.
Because Kemp is threatening to raise taxes on those companies because they spoke out against him. Then
Donald need to stay out of politics. These companies need to stay out of politics.
And I'm like, buddy, you're forgetting who really pays you. You're in there to do what these companies want. Like, you don't.
Oh yeah.
They're not. The government don't give a fuck about you. Like, the government has been taken over by these companies. They run shit.
The politicians really need to know their fucking place. They really do seem to have kind of hijacked things. And kind of elevated their own status.
They sold out their own influence. They don't have the level of power that they should have anymore because they've sold it out to these corporations.
That's right.
These corporations are who's really running you. They tell you they're the people that's writing legislation right now. And a handful of lawyers. And they're lawyers. And they're the ones writing legislation. We know that by now. We know that you guys just walk into a meeting, a secret meeting that's already been had by these corporations where they've drafted up legislation. You rewrite it almost word for word pretty much every single time and just sign it into law. Why? Because they're the ones giving you kickbacks. They're the ones that are going to employ you when you're done with your office. They're the ones who are hooking you up with speeches and hooking you up with whatever other backdoor deals you're getting. So go ahead, Brian Kemp, go to war. Go to war with the people who are the real people you stand to benefit from. Because you think the Republican Party has your back, but they have nobody's back. Your party has nobody's back. They don't care about anybody.
They used to have some values, but they sold out to Trump. It's all Trumpism now.
They didn't have values long before that.
They did. They got all fucked up. They got all fucked up. But I mean, their values are.
Their values were always
rooted in racism.
Yeah, their values were always conquest, dominance, and superiority. It was never the values they claimed to have.
But those are values. Those are values.
Well, they still have those values now. They still have those.
Yeah.
They still have those.
Yeah.
It's just that they've now lost even the ability to pretend to have that's this moral Christian right thing that they're trying to sell.
Right.
No, get out.
Right.
No, get out of here.
Right. That's not selling. That's not selling as good as it used to.
No, not at all. No one's buying it.
It's dying with the boomers.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not entirely.
Not all
dying
of it. I know some people my age that are just fucking
dude.
sold. They're bought in.
Dude, look at
all in on that Christianity shit.
look at Tom Larry over there. Tommy Lawrence. What's his name? You know.
What a great time we're living in, man.
Oh man, yeah. No, look at Tommy Lauren and her fucking. Dude,
yeah, that's
that little monster.
She's a fucking monster.
Jesus.
Oh man, I think for a short period of time, just to see what kind of vial she was spitting out, I think I followed her on Twitter, and then I decided I really don't need this shit
It's
showing
too much
up in my
poison.
feed. It's
too
so
much.
toxic.
I tried. It's like
so toxic.
even to follow to like ridicule. I'm like, nah, no.
I don't understand
No.
sometimes what they're trying to actually accomplish with some of their statements. Like, I get that they're all like on the defense and they're all paranoid about everything right now, but like that seems to be the only thing that's motivating them is their like paranoia and fear. They're not actually like.
That's always been the case. That's always been the case.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
that we've mistreated everybody else in this society, and the only reason they can't come for us is because we have too much power and influence.
Yeah.
And
Too much
we
land.
are terrified
Yes.
of losing that.
Yeah.
We're terrified of letting them have an inch.
Yes.
Because the moment we allow things to happen even halfway fairly, we're done doing this to people.
Well, that's what Charlottesville they were fucking like chanting, going down the streets with their fucking pitchfork rally was, they will not replace us. They will not replace us. That's what they're worried about. They think they're going to get replaced.
No.
I don't even know logically what that even would fucking look like.
Don't worry.
What does that even mean?
Just removed. No one wants a replacement for you. Just removed.
But even then, what would that even look like?
Well, that's like, okay. This is
In a
what they
modern world, I don't think that's going to happen.
Did you see the thing about the
Not even close.
the MLB player who got pulled over drunk and whatever? I forget the dude's name. I think this happened in like Florida. This was just recently, like last week or something like that.
Oh, no, I don't.
There's this baseball player who got pulled over. This white dude. He got pulled over and was like near his house, and he tried to drive to his house. And he he just kept driving to his house, but it was like, another like mile or two or something like that. So the cops get in there. There's like, multiple cop cars, lights everywhere.
Yeah.
He's trying to play it off like, what was going on? First of all, they pull him over. The first thing he does is open the door. They're like, shut the door, shut the door, shut the door. Close the door. He's like, what? Huh? What? Is there a problem? Like trying to act like, what? Oh, what? Huh? Oh, I mean, I'm just getting out to go to my house, and I just noticed you guys were sitting there with your lights on, and and they're like, no, that's not working. No. Like, close your fucking door. We were following you. You gonna act like you didn't see us.
Yeah.
We watched you swerve. Like, you left your lane multiple times. You hit the curb. You appear to be drunk. We were trying to pull you over. We had to chase you. All this stuff. His wife gets out and gets out of the car and like walks up to them. She eventually engages with the police officer, fights the police officer, and runs into the house, and they're like, well, we're going to go arrest her in a second, right?
Wait, well, I mean, what, the multiple police officers didn't immediately detain this person who's fighting with the police officers physically?
And he fought with them too.
Right. Like, who watching?
And in the middle of all of that, this baseball player made some statement of like, oh, well, I just don't want you guys, just taking me away and blah blah blah, or just you're just gonna take me to
that he wanted to just go home.
Well, no, he's like, I don't want you guys just taking me away. You're just gonna lock me up somewhere without no trial or nothing. And they're like, why would I do that? Or I think at one point he was like, oh hey, I'm he goes back the blue to him, like after he's like fucked with them and all this shit, and they're like, okay, and he's like, oh well, I just want to let you guys know, I'm a Trump supporter, and they're like, okay. And he's like, oh, you guys aren't Trump supporters? And they're like, that doesn't have anything to do with this. Like, that has nothing.
Yeah, he's pulling out all of his, like, get out of jail free cards.
All his white guy cards.
All of his white guy cards. Yeah, right. They're white guy cards.
Yep. Yeah. Hey.
Oh,
Same thing.
God,
Same thing.
Dude,
right?
No, man. See, that's and
doing the whole,
fact
do you know
that
who I am, and that whole thing, and I'm a baseball player. Hey, I'm this person, and they're like, that's fine. We don't care.
You're making us some great YouTube content.
Oh yeah, and so, but basically, he eventually got around to then after it was, oh hey, maybe if I tell you I'm Trump supporter. I'm back to blue. I don't support BLM. And so and they're like, okay. He's like, you guys liberals and
it just getting the confirmation that you're against him, and it's like he's just so paranoid.
Well, so then it flipped to, I hope you guys aren't going to just lock me up and I'm never going to get a trial. And they're like, why would that happen? He's like, well, I just that's what they're doing to us Trump supporters now. I figured maybe because if you guys were mad at me for being a Trump supporter, and they're like, that literally has nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah, you're fucking drunk and driving.
So the moment,
not safe.
And it's like the moment he realized that being a Trump supporter wasn't going to get him out of something, then it was right to the narrative of, no. He said something like, is this because I'm a Trump supporter? And they're like, nope. He's like, I thought maybe you guys knew I was a Trump supporter and that's why you pulled me over. Like they really believe like they're just going to round up all the Trump support. It's fucking bonkers. So
when statistically, actually, most police officers and service members tend to lean conservative Republican. So the numbers are on their side. And
clearly this guy knew that.
They're so paranoid.
And clearly this guy knew that. But it's like, it's both of these crazy narratives. Because I'm on this side, I should just be free of consequence. Yeah. But at the same time, we're being persecuted.
Right.
We're being persecuted and rounded up, and they're just going to come and they're going to replace us. They're going to just take us all and replace us. So all that's going on, and Trump released this big letter like, I want you to boycott everybody, boycott Delta.
That shit was did you see the ending?
It's like what? Yeah, what did it say?
Have a happy Easter.
Right, happy Easter.
Nothing about it was Easter at all.
And it was
he ended it with happy Easter, and none of it was happy. None of it. It was all just negative shit.
And then he says that before Happy Easter, he ended it with,
"We love this guy.
We will not become
I love him out
a
of office.
Socialist nation." What does becoming a socialist nation have anything to do with
anything?
With corporations speaking out against here's what's socialist, right? And really not even socialist, but totalitarian communist in a totalitarian way is the government telling a corporation they're going to tax them more because they disagreed with policy.
That's exactly right.
That's some communist, totalitarianist, third world country, dictator shit.
That's exactly what Trump is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not even the one who did it. Brian Kemp. Fucking like, yep, I see you, Kemp. We see your fascist ass. Fuck out of here. We will not become a socialist nation. No, we will become a fascist nation.
I'm going to grab a sparkling. You want one?
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take another one. And so, okay, so then this is the fun transition, right? So while Trump is talking all that shit to his people, we will become a socialist nation. While he's talking all that stuff, he's also stealing their money.
Dude, he is. But we knew that. Everybody called it back in the fall when he first started it. Everybody said this is a scam. He's just getting money to pay for his lawyer fees, and he's making it this Stop the Steal campaign.
It's so good.
All this shit. It's so good.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
I mean, he's the thief.
He learned from Steve Bannon.
Yeah, of course.
He learned
from his boy. Yeah, from his
He might even be behind the scenes doing
and
all
from his
of it.
daddy. Yeah, I mean, dude, this guy.
Yeah, daddy was running scams on scams.
I feel bad that I don't feel bad for anybody who lost money to this guy.
I don't either.
Because
fuck him, fuck you, man.
Well, and it's not like, and it's not that. And he fucked people, and it's fucked up. Like one guy was like an old guy. He donated
Fuck him.
Old guy, right?
Fuck him. Fuck that guy.
Donated $500.
Fuck that guy.
Old guy with cancer.
Fuck him. Fuck that guy. Fuck him so hard. Double down with cancer. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Trump's fucking evil, you stupid motherfucker.
I love how we both have yeah,
like a hard edge on some shit.
We can both make the other one go.
No, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your cancer, you stupid fuck.
I give a fuck about
No.
about people in general. But here's why I'm saying I feel bad that I don't feel bad. Because this is fucked up. This is terrible. And this is terrible what this guy is doing to y'all.
Yeah.
What he's doing. Like,
Yeah.
but we're gonna circle back, right? We're gonna circle back to a time I made you go. But we're gonna find some common ground, right? Because this guy donated $500, and so basically the way this thing worked is pardon me, they had in the fine print that this was an automatic recurring payment. So if you donated to Donald Trump's campaign once, it was automatically selected as an automatic recurring payment, right? Like if you subscribe to a pay porn site.
I know that it's a thing now. I know
Totally
to look for it, but old people
yeah.
don't know that.
No, they
Boomers
don't.
know that.
Well, and they buried it. They worked really hard to bury it. They had they had text that was all in bold, some of it in caps, which makes it harder to read, which tires your eyes out faster, especially if you're older and you're farsighted, and have to wear bifocals and stuff to read things that are up close. And there was no, and then in the fine print, it told you, hey, you've got to go do this other thing. You've got to call this other number to tell them to make it a not recurring payment.
Right.
And then they increased the frequency of the payments. So it was monthly first, then it became weekly. In some cases,
So it was all in the fine print.
yeah,
It was all in the fine print.
It was in the fine print, but then they changed it. They were like, hey, we made it a recurring payment, and it's subject to change.
Because the lawyers yes. All you have to do is this is subject to change.
So this guy
without
donated
notice.
$500, and the campaign took over $3,000 in the span of 30 days. $3,000 in the span of 30 days, and $500 every week. And
So do we think anything's going to come of this? Probably not. Right?
there's tons of lawsuits against him now.
Investigations. Love those investigations.
There's a lot of there's all these. Yeah, a lot of people are suing him now. He did this to a lot of people, and 3,000 was not the worst number I heard.
It
was what the money's gone. And so here's where I'm going to circle back. Remember a few episodes ago when I was talking about a racist tax?
A racist tax. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Every time you say or do something racist,
okay,
you're going to just wind up a little bit of extra tax.
Is there a committee?
Well, here it is. This is what you get. This is what you get for being racist, people. If you are so racist that you donated money to Donald Trump to keep being racist and in power, you just lost some money. You just paid
that's
for your racism, and more than you thought, more than you expected. If you paid to help Donald Trump steal the election, guess what? He just stole from you too. And all I can say is, I told you so.
Go fuck yourself.
I genuinely feel bad that there's anybody with cancer who now cannot buy their medication because Donald Trump stole from them. But at the same time, dude, this guy.
Those people want to take away people's health care. There's some irony in that. So if you want to vote for the guy who takes away everybody else's health care, or as a group of people who want to do that, then I really don't feel sorry for you.
I don't. Well, what I'm saying is,
we all die.
I'm saying that I have some compassion, but at the same time, you earned what you got. Because this guy, it's not just that he wants to. Yeah, he wants to take away people's health care. You know what else he wants to take away? People's voting rights, people's right to just walk down the street or exist in peace. Remember, regardless of what they tell you,
I know what they keep telling you. They tell you that we're all criminals and thieves and rapists and drug dealers and murderers, but I'm sorry, no, we're better people than that.
You do such a good Cat Williams, man. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but we're simply better people than that. Remember, these motherfuckers shoot us in our homes while we sleep. We ain't even wake and they coming in shooting us motherfuckers like we did something. And y'all think we gonna come back and get our revenge on white people, but no, we're better people than that. And we don't have to get revenge on y'all because Trump is getting revenge on y'all asses for us. We just gotta sit back and watch. Shit.
I can just see him like stomping back and forth on stage, you know? Some big suit on or some wild outfit.
Some big suit.
Yeah, some just fun new hairdo.
Money print on the whole.
Now, I know y'all know my hair looks long and luxurious. Y'all
It does.
make fun of my perm if you want to. You brothers wish they had hair like mine.
And I don't have a perm. He has a perm. I don't have to perm my hair because, But that's not good hair. It's just
one of
my
my
hair.
favorite jokes of his is something. I think it's his. It might not be his actually, but I think it's his. He's basically just like, y'all motherfuckers in your Chrysler C. Y'all know y'all think it's a motherfucking Bentley until a Bentley rolls up next to y'all's ass, and then you know you're in a Chrysler C. It's because he was making fun of like the people that were coming in all looking, because people get dressed up to go to a Cat Williams performance.
That's because he's from here. Have you
Yeah.
you ever been to a black church service here in Atlanta?
It looks like that.
Bruh.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
And yes, I have.
Yes, yeah. You want to see some of the dopest outfits you've ever seen in your life.
Yes.
Go to a black funeral in Atlanta.
Oh, in Atlanta, yeah. At MLK's fucking, at the Oakwood Cemetery. Yeah. Yeah, do it right.
All right, man.
Yeah,
I've been.
Yeah.
I've been, and it was. And I went to go with work because there was a friend of ours whose mother passed. Rest in peace, Precious Chapman. And let me tell you, that was an important lady.
Yeah.
Because Keisha Lance Bottoms was there, and CeCe Winans was there, and I mean, I was like, did all of Black America come to the? All of Atlanta was that Black Atlanta was at this funeral.
Yep.
They gave this woman a day. I'm with my white coworkers having the blackest moment I've had. I got one hand on my chest and one hand in the air, and I'm crying. I'm like stomping my foot and yes,
Nice.
yes, I'm not even Christian. I was just having a moment, man.
Yeah.
I was just having a moment. But I love how all that circled around with the Trump thing. I do feel bad that some of you out there have grandparents that are in the middle of all this other mess, all this over COVID mess. This is what I remember, man. Even when people have deplorable beliefs and do horrible things and back horrible things, there's still somebody's something. There's still somebody's something. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. I don't like it either. But there's somebody's something. And that's awful. That's awful. And hey, if there's somebody out there and you're on the fence about this cultural narrative that you and your family subscribe to, look right now. Take a look right now. This snake oil salesman is running y'all. He is taking you for everything you have.
Man.
He's taking you for everything you have. He's sending you into battle on your own. He's sending you into danger. He's celebrating while you perish. He is laughing while you die for his cause.
Damn.
And robbing from you while you do it and still telling you to follow him. Right? If there's no other indication that you have bet on the wrong horse, right? Believe whatever you want to believe. Be mad at BLM and Antifa all you want, but take a look at who is doing the most damage to you in real time and space, right?
Clip that. That was great.
That's all I'm saying, because it's costing you. You're paying a price, literally. You are paying through the nose for this guy to run your country into the ground, even after he's out of office.
You hit quite a few things on the head there, man. That was great. I mean, yeah. I felt like I was in your pulpit for a second. Just like, preach!
I believe I was born to be a type of preacher.
But it was appropriate. We were just talking about like black funerals and black churches and shit.
Hey,
I think
man.
you were just like, I was there, man, and I felt this thing, and then you went into that, and I was like, man, you tapped into some shit just then. That was great. Hell yeah.
Look, man.
That's called channeling.
Look, I might tell jokes when I'm on stage, but I'm really up there trying to give a sermon.
Yeah.
Really.
Hell yes.
Really. I just don't want to, just the people I want to talk to, they're not in church on Sunday. They're at a bar. They're at a club.
Hey, where was Jesus?
Right?
That's where Jesus was hanging
Exactly.
out. Motherfucker wasn't in a church.
No, he
Wasn't
went into
anything
church.
like a church.
Look.
They weren't even churches then.
Look, people
well,
always-
maybe there was something like that, but
It was
not.
It's a piece of a bit that I have. Right? It's like, look, people always want to make Jesus. I don't like the way people depict Jesus. I'm all down with Jesus. I don't like the religion about him, and I don't like the way people depict him because they always want to depict Jesus like he was like this blonde-haired, blue-eyed hippie. That's
Right.
bullshit.
Right.
Jesus
Kinda
was not a hippie.
Like this. This is what a lot of white people imagine. Because people say that to me more often than not.
Jesus, right?
People think I'm doing the Jesus look.
And it's like,
so.
Yeah. But Jesus was not a hippie.
No.
He was a gangster. And if you don't believe me, remember that Jesus did a hit on a church on a Sunday with a bullwhip. Right? No, did a hit on a
I don't know
church.
anything about what you're talking
Jesus
about.
did a hit on a church in a bank, hit on a bank in a church on a Sunday with a bullwhip. It's the scene where he runs in to the church where the merchants are selling wares and doing banking in the church, and he goes, "This is my father's house, and you've turned it into a den of thieves." And he starts flipping over tables and chasing and whipping people with a bullwhip. Like, get the fuck out.
Wow.
Yeah. People forget that was Jesus was a gangster. Like, what y'all doing trapping in here? It's my father's house, son. Fuck out of
Did
here.
he have a posse when he was doing that?
Yes.
shit? Okay, he had a posse.
Yeah,
Right,
he came
right.
in with a group of dudes, with his
Right.
peoples.
Yeah, the
That's what I'm saying.
apostles.
Yeah, the posse. You know what I'm saying?
The posse. Yeah. That's
Bro,
what I'm talking about.
like-
the motherfucking posse.
Yo, Jesus came in there with his posse, bro, and started whipping motherfuckers. He was like, "Look, man, hey, dog, hey, you can't be trapping in here, dog. It's my father's house, man. Fuck out of here.
You must whip it.
It's the family house. You
He
can't be
whipped
doing
it into shape.
can't be doing this
Shaped
in
it
here.
up.
Look, man."
Go ahead.
Jesus was like, "Now I know you've read the 10 crack commandments. Come on, bro. Never sell crack where you rest at. I don't care if they want an ounce. Tell them bounce." Like,
You must whip it. No, I got whip in my head.
what?
God.
Oh, what? And that's the dichotomy of the show right there.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
We're the
Too
black.
much Beavis and Butthead for me. They always played that video on Beavis and Butthead.
I'm like, this is like one of those. This is like one of those dudes who likes to get stepped on in the nuts by chicks.
Chicks.
That doesn't sound very fun, butthead. This guy thinks it's
Damn
pretty
it,
fun.
Beavis.
That's actually something I do for Coco randomly. Is I'll randomly have entire conversations as both Beavis and Butthead with
I
myself.
do that with Melissa.
Oh, dude, she loves it. It's like she just gets a
I
free.
mean, the shirt sometimes comes up over my head and it's full like.
Oh, I can
you
do
know,
a good cornholio.
It's full of cornholio.
Do a great cornholio.
Are you threatening me?
Cut it out, Beavis. We're
Damn
gonna
up, Beavis.
we're gonna get to play us down, sue us, my judge.
That's right. We're gonna get a copyright strike. That's hilarious.
If you like, say this. I heard you're gonna like redo the show or something.
Don't don't do that. Okay.
No, you should do it. You
Yeah.
should do it and hire me to take over when you die.
He said, "Do it."
Yeah, take over when you die. When you die. Mike Judge is old. Okay. I love you, Mike Judge. You're the shit. This is the last story, and we're gonna wrap it up after this.
Okay. What you got?
Fucking
the story.
the story.
The motherfucking story that's
story.
happening right now.
Gaetz Gate.
Gaetz.
Creepy Gaetz.
It's too good.
And I can't, dude. I like.
Gaetz.
Oh man, and I came up with that name. I'm so fucking mad, right? And this happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And you
Which
see
I
it
don't
out
know.
there
I don't know
somewhere.
if this is not somewhere on Colbert. I come up with something and then I'm like, oh, this. You know, what's a great name for this episode is going to be this.
Yeah.
And then I've done it. It's happened for Bad News. It's happened for this show multiple times.
Wow.
Where I come up with the name of an episode and then it's like it won't be the name of his episode, but it'll be somewhere in there, and he'll like throw it up with like a big lower third bar, and he's like.
I forgot about lower.
He said
thirds.
he's like the Gaetz Gate. Yeah, we didn't do it once the entire episode.
There it is.
That's all right, but they won't know that on YouTube because I'm gonna throw it up like a bunch of times. It's gonna happen as soon as we come on, and then it'll happen again, and it'll happen here, and we'll talk about how it never happened, but it did happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you know why. YouTube.
Right. It's good editing. Yeah.
Yeah, that great editing. That did look pretty smooth when you popped it up, though.
It worked. I mean, that's the first time we used it. So
Yeah, it worked. It worked. And we'll have a chance to do it again here in a second. So, if you live under a rock and you don't know about Matt Gaetz, do we have a picture of Matt Gaetz, by the way?
I can find one.
We should get a picture of Matt Gaetz, because that motherfucker, he like Matt Gaetz. So okay, let me talk about this. But anyway, yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, dude, Gaetz. I'm like, Gaetz is it's amazing. And then Stephen Colbert, Gaetz. Oh my god damn it.
How about that one?
I don't know. That's a pretty good one. Although that one where he looks like a chipmunk with a pompadour,
right,
is pretty good too. Is any of this coming up on the screen right now?
No.
We gotta make a scene for a thing for when we're scrolling through, so that we can show them.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can.
I need to.
We'll get there.
A whole scene. Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. You can
So yeah, first of all,
away.
this how do you look at this guy and not automatically know that he touches kids? You know what I mean? Like, there's something just a little bit too like manicured about the eyebrows. He's got not to say that if you manicure your eyebrows and you're a guy that you automatically touch children, but like. I'm saying, when we bring up this guy, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Like the dude, this guy kind of looks like.
God damn it.
He kind of looks like. He kind of reminds me of Biff from Back to the Future.
Where's that?
You know what I mean? In fact, he's got a butt head thing. He's got that like, with the teeth out. You know, like he's got that like he's got the Eric Trump face. Or it's just all gums and teeth.
It's a little goofy. He's a little goofy looking. Yeah.
He looks like Butthead became a politician. Is what he looks like. He looks like if Ben Affleck ruined the Riddler's character instead of Batman. You know. I wish we could bring this guy up so we could.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring him up in that. I'll do it in post.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's fine. No, what a creepy bastard! Like he looks like he looks like what's the name of that evangelist dude who's like 100,000 years old? Whose face now just looks like a wax mask.
Right. And he's got a female companion, right? That's really done up too.
Does he? Yeah, I think so. He's the guy with like the super giant, like of the super giant mega planes. He has the superest, giantest, megaist plane.
It's so wild. Those guys have like the biggest.
He was the guy that had
ever.
There was that clip of him where there was like this little Asian lady talking to this news reporter, and she's like, "Well, didn't you call people on regular planes demons?" He's like, "Now don't you put words in my mouth." That's not what I said. Now listen. They are demons. It's like, dude, you're the fucking demon, man.
Up,
like,
oh my god.
He has like the scare. So he looks like that guy fucked Ben Affleck, and then Ben Affleck bore the hate child through his anus, and then that just like rapidly morphed into this thing. Like he looks like a cross between a televangelist and a child molester. That's what he looks like. So anyway, so this guy, you know, was accused of having sex with kids, and not just having sex with kids, but paying to have sex with kids, and paying for arrangements to there's a whole thing. It came out that he used websites that quote connect people who go on dates in exchange for gifts, travel, and allowances, and that was his defense, because you know, look, I just used a website where you give a young person an allowance to do what you say, like a grown up. You know, an allowance. And some candy, and you take them to, you know.
Sounds like a child.
You take them to the park? No, this was a date.
Oh, yes.
You know how you pick up a date?
That sounds like a lovely date.
Yeah. You know how when you go on a date, you call like a...
I usually ask my mom first.
And then you call like a it's like a place where they have a lot of people that are like the same age, and they teach them at like a school, right? When you call the school,
yeah,
and you're like,
that's usually how I do it,
right? And then you know, hey, I want to go pick up I want to pick up one of your.
There's like a permission form.
You fill out a form, and then because they need to know where they are,
and then they get the little visitor badge.
You get the visitor badge, and then who you are.
Then you get to get out of class,
and you take them on a, you just take them on a trip out to the field. You take them on like
the ball around, and
you take them to like an amusement park, or like right, and then you give them an allowance, and then they suck your cock. That's a date.
Damn
right? So, and I guess there's this dude, Greenberg. Oh man, that's so this guy.
I must not have been doing
somebody
it right.
Greenberg.
They said they paid for Gaetz and Greenberg paid for travel and hotel rooms where individuals took ecstasy before having sex, including Mr. Gaetz. Now, I mean that in and of itself,
that's okay.
It's not fun, but you know,
amongst consenting adults,
not with a 17-year-old, not with a 17-year-old, and that's just like it's like a whole like, hey, I'll come and pick. It's like he turned like the day out with your stepdad into like this fucked up sexual thing. Like, hey, it's like, yeah, man.
So my question with this is, isn't this like the goddamn World Series for fucking Q people?
Dude, for real. For real.
Is this
not everything you guys have been talking about?
Where are they?
Where y'all at?
Where you at?
Where you at?
Why are y'all not going to town on Matt Gaetz right now? Because this is literally y'all's wheelhouse. I'm doing the Trump hands because I'm like, oh my God.
I don't understand.
I don't understand. Oh no.
If you don't say,
I just did the Trump hands.
If you don't say how this guy,
oh my God,
he fucks children.
Oh my God, it works. Children. The mantra works.
We have the receipts. We have the receipts. We've seen it.
Oh, it's the devil.
But that's what it is. You know what it is? Is it's too much. There's too much evidence.
Yeah.
There's too much evidence for them to believe. That's like awfully convenient, right?
Dude, I think we need. You're right. I think we need more evidence.
There's too much. No, there's too much evidence. There's too much already. There's too much evidence already.
It must not be.
It's too much. It was clearly planted, right? It's clearly.
Right. It's too perfect.
Well, what it is that the liberal tech companies are involved in the evidence. We can't trust them because we all know that they were all created by George Soros. And
dude, it could be a live stream with a million live viewers could be watching Matt Gaetz have sex with an underage girl on an airplane crossing state lines, and they would not fucking believe it.
He was showing people.
It would be a setup by Dems, by libs.
He was showing people naked pictures of the girls on the Senate floor.
Yeah,
like I mean, I thought that was like the kind of thing that only happens when you work at like a Subway or some shit.
But it's remember, it's sacred ground. Remember they all think it's fucking sacred ground.
Fuck out of here! I worked at an Apple store. You couldn't get away with that.
Sacred ground.
There's no way. Like seriously, I have worked at retail stores that you could not get away with that at. Who the fuck? Where's
cameras everywhere?
You know what? I want to speak to the manager. Who's the manager of the Senate? I want to speak to the fucking manager.
Settle down, Kevin. Come on now.
How is this guy rocking titty pics of 17-year-olds on the Senate floor? What are you doing? Is that what's going on with the gas mask? Do you just have like...
Yeah.
You just got secret porno like playing inside the gas mask? Do you have like LED screens where the eyes should be? Just playing you kitty porn the entire time?
He had a pair of their panties stuffed down in the gas mask so that he could just live in the panty smell all day long.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's into that.
Yeah. I mean that's a thing.
Right.
That's a thing.
It was probably his own farts in there too, right?
Definitely some of his own farts. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's of course it's one of these types of assholes that's like mocking the pandemic.
Yep.
Mocking people who are trying to be safe, mocking people Trump. Asking for trying to be for every group. It's these people that mock every legitimate American value when it's anybody but them trying to achieve it.
That's correct.
And then and they want to point the finger at everybody and say that they're tyrannical and they're un-American and they're this and they're that. And then we take a look, and of course you're abusing your office.
Yes.
You're abusing your power.
Dude, so the nail in the coffin for me with Matt Gaetz, which basically I'm at this point a life in prison for Matt Gaetz on all of this here. Why? So would I be a life in prison for having sex with an underage person for money and trafficking them over state lines? Maybe. I also think with enough time in prison, somebody could rehabilitate. I'm kind of a fan of rehabilitation. I think there's a lot of interesting programs out there for rehabilitation.
I believe in
But when you go and take public office, and you are the only politician, the only congressperson who voted against the sex trafficking bill that came up, you are in prison for life. You took public fucking position, wasted our tax dollars to vote against something that you are guilty of. You fucking piece of shit. Royal fucking piece of shit. You deserve life in prison. I'm throwing away the key. I will pay for that. I'll pay for that. Why? Because at this point I also don't fucking support capital punishment, which all you motherfucking conservative Republicans are all about killing people, right? I'm gonna fucking pay the money to put him in jail and throw him away.
Matt Gaetz deserves a very simple.
He needs tar and feathering.
Not even that much. Nope. Okay. Very, very simple. 2 words.
Cut his dick off.
No. 2 words. 2 words. Gen pop. That's it.
General population.
That's it, baby. Just gen pop.
Yeah.
I want y'all to find the roughest prison. No, I know in fact, I know exactly where to put him.
New York.
It's not even not New York, and not even a prison. Not even prison. Dade County Jail.
Dade
County Jail.
Miami.
In Miami. And he's from Florida.
Yeah.
And perfectly appropriate. Dade County Jail for the rest of your life.
Because he doesn't go, he doesn't go down there.
In general population.
Fuck no.
And let me tell you, that motherfucker in general population in Dade County, the rest of his life would be about a week and a half.
He'll go to Fort Lauderdale. He won't go all the way down to Dade. He won't go all the way down.
No, but I'm saying that should be it. He should be in Dade County Jail.
That's what I'm saying. Matt Gaetz is connected with people in northern Florida and on the beaches and in maybe like Orlando and maybe Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, yeah.
But just about everywhere
maybe Broward
else.
County. Dade coming for that. I'm just saying, you put him in. It's a very high black population jail, and it's one of the roughest jail. People in Dade County would rather go to prison than jail in Dade County. It's that bad.
Wow.
Like, it's one of the notoriously worst lockups in the U.S.
Fucking hot down there too, man. I cannot imagine you're getting anything that looks like decent air conditioning in fucking southern Florida.
Maybe Florida has one of the only states that has a law where you can't rent a place unless it has a working air conditioning in it.
Yeah, but prisons
it's against
are
the
kind
law.
of different.
I mean,
different set.
I'm saying there might be some law where they have to do because it's so hot you could kill people.
You could kill people.
So I'm sure they've got to do something.
Yeah.
But do they probably do it the way they're supposed to? Probably not.
Yeah,
most likely
bare
not.
minimum.
Bare minimum, if that, right?
Best, yeah.
So last couple things on Matt Gaetz is his office released a statement.
This is about this long. It was like this long.
No. It's huge.
Oh, okay. They've done another one. Okay.
But it's insane. It's just like Matt Gaetz has never paid for sex. Matt Gaetz has never been on any of these websites whatsoever. Whatsoever.
That's what I'm saying.
Matt Gaetz did not, and it's all just, Matt Gaetz did not. Matt Gaetz did not do that. Matt Gaetz, and then the New York Times were like, hey, we have receipts to the women from Cash App and Apple Pay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're admitting, I guess, to having, because they're kind of admitting to a criminal activity themselves potentially. But if they're if any of them are underage, they're not
underage, and they were trafficked by other people.
Then
and he's part of this. And he's part of this trafficking ring.
And I agree. They're
big
not
part of this trafficking ring.
Once they're 18, then I'm like,
this fucker better go down so hard.
But I'm not. I don't think prostitution should be illegal. Obviously, I think sex work should be.
Yeah.
Which actually, I'm kind of over the word prostitution. I think it's all sex work. I think sex work is what we should be calling it. But turns out there's just.
Yeah. I mean, I'm less one to care so much about
Right,
like
most people don't
connotation
care, yeah.
connotations of words.
Yeah.
I like specificity of words.
Sure.
And I shy away from
Well, sex work is
euphemisms.
a broad. That's a broad.
Right,
term.
exactly. I
Yeah,
like
it's
sex
super
work as a broad.
Yeah,
as a broad
there's
term, but
another
yeah.
there's another way to describe that. I think
Totally.
some people call it full service.
Sure.
Full
I like
service
that.
sex work.
I like that.
Which
Full
means
service
kind
sex
of
work.
implies you kind of do.
I mean, honestly, if it's another one of those things where if we just accepted that it is a part of our society, it is,
It
right?
is.
It is a part of our society.
Yeah.
It has always been a part of modern society.
Yeah.
Since
Control
its
and regulate it.
inception.
Legitimize it.
It was literally the first business that we know about.
It was the first one
The first business,
that
right?
took money for service. Yeah.
So
value.
but if it's like, and if we accepted that this was part of our culture and part of our way of life, then we could actually treat it and the people who engage in it in a way that fosters better health and
Yeah.
more safety. But instead, just like everything else that we're ashamed of, we want to sweep it underneath the rug and pretend it doesn't exist
Yeah.
and demonize the people who rely on it as a way of life or rely on it as a source of income or way of survival, and then protect the people who abuse those people as a way of life.
sure.
And Matt Gaetz is another one of these assholes.
Yes.
Another one of these faux moral motherfuckers who wants to condemn everybody that's not in his position while he does the same shit and worse that he condemns the people on the other side of the aisle or people that are just less fortunate than him for doing. I hope they metaphorically hang this bitch by his balls. I hope they do. Look at that fucker. Big
Hold on, let's see
fake
my
teeth.
quotes.
Dude, how much cum has to be in his hair for it to sit that high? That's got to be what it is. He's just jizzing in his hand every 30 seconds and just rubbing it in his hair to get it to be like that. Don't trust anybody with hair that high. And I'm saying that with this haircut. Unless it's a mohawk or like Liberty spikes, right? That's the only excuse for that. Or like an afro or a high top. If you got a kid in play hat, I'm saying if you've made a white guy with Johnny Bravo hair, that guy rapes somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's it. He's at least dropping pills in your drink. Anybody who's got the biff like hi, avoid that fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
stop normalize not normalizing normal guys. Normal guys are the problem. They're the worst. If you're a normal guy, I'm sorry, but get weird. You know what I mean?
For a quote,
Because people are weird.
I heard this quote. I'll just summarize. I was trying to look for the actual quote, but I can't find it. It's basically, they pulled up this quote from Matt Gaetz. It's like a tweet that he put out. That's something like, if you aren't making the news, you aren't leading correctly. So that's the summary of his quote. He's basically talking about how he likes to. He's a really popular guy, and he's in the news, and he's leading the way by making. And he's just one of those guys who thinks that you've got to be making the news to be making a difference, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's just a fucking egotistical way of leading. It's like you're clearly a fucking just shitty politician.
Oh, it's just one of those people
scum.
that's sucked into the whole the ego bravado game.
Yeah, dude, his hair says all of it. His hair and his whole image and his suit, all of it. The whole presentation says all of that.
I'm just saying, if I met this guy, at a party. If I met this guy at a party,
himself.
I would keep a close eye on every drink that came anywhere near him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of
Like
course.
that's an automatic red flag.
I remember-
and it's like, but it's crazy to me that like what's automatic red flags to us are what's like this is acceptable on like that side of American culture.
Dude.
This is what you want to be.
That's
I'm like,
right.
but those people are always the craziest.
I
like,
cannot believe that there's people
Always.
that think that that's like the guy they look up to. Like really.
yeah, and it's always those people with the
bar
super
is
clean cut
fucking
image.
low, y'all.
It's like when are we gonna learn? The people with the super, it's like comics talk about this all the time. The super duper clean. Like, hey everybody, everything's happy, but they're like a grown up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That guy's doing some weird shit.
That's right.
Like
When
that guy.
everything's perfect.
That's it. That's the guy that you're like, oh, you like smoke crack and punch babies? Like what? Like
Punch babies.
Yeah.
Drop kick them.
yeah, drop kick. He's like just on.
That's where I draw the line.
Just like on a Tuesday.
Punching, I'm like, drop kicking, I'm like, no.
No, yeah, because then you gotta at least be able
It's
to.
just weird.
It's too far.
It's weird.
Too far
Yeah.
away. That's too much air that they're getting.
It's a little. Yeah, I mean,
You got to be able
it's
to.
just not effective, really.
If you're gonna hit them into the air, they got to land close enough to where you can catch them. You can't just.
You have to tee them up right. That's how you. That's how they really go. I'm really just like, it's not an effective way to punt.
You got to put them on like a t-ball tee.
A kid.
You just sit them on top of one.
Punching is like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, you're wasting your energy.
Dude, it hurts your hand.
Yeah, right.
Fuck
yeah.
that.
You think they respect that?
Fuck that.
Come on. So that's what's going on in the world this week. Is people are touching kids. Donald Trump is stealing from you. Let's see what else. What else is happening? Yeah. People are pretending to be against racism, and
your voting rights are
and then also racism. Yeah,
and also some racism.
Yeah, lots. You can't just have some.
Yeah,
you gotta have a lot of racism.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's
what it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we solved those problems.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we got to the bottom of all of that.
I mean, I almost got to the bottom of this coffee. That's about it.
Oh, I'm over here just like
just freaking out.
I'm freaking out, man.
Well, shit, man. Let's.
Told you I shouldn't have had that car. I did not need it.
I
didn't need it.
I'm like just now awake. Now I'm awake. I'm ready to start the show now. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Can we start this now?
Give me some downers.
So,
dude, I tried some. We'll talk some drugs for a second.
My mom is still in the chat.
I tried some red tie kratom recently. You ever tried kratom?
I have tried kratom.
Do you know what kind of kratom you tried?
I don't remember if it was the red or green. This was early when it first came out, and in fact, I was working with my partner Coco. She used to work at a a head shop.
Okay, they did sell it.
And I had just started working there. She was my boss. She had just hired me, and it was like my second day or something like that. And she was like, "Oh, have you ever tried this stuff, kratom?" And I'm like,
Sounds
"No."
like a healthy
and she's like,
relationship.
"Well, right."
Have you ever tried this stuff?
Have you ever tried this kratom stuff? Well, she was like,
initiation, try it.
She gave me 2 of them. She's like, "Here, try them out." I was like, test out this product, right? And she's like, "Well, I hear they kind of feel like taking a Percocet or something, right?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just. I just popped them.
Yeah. First day at work.
It wasn't my first day. It was like my second day.
It was 30 minutes into your shift.
And so we're sitting there, we're working, and I'm just like, I was like, "Hey, yeah, these do kind of feel like Percocets or Vicodin or something." And she's like, "You took them?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, I meant
fuck.
I meant like at home or something." I was like, "Oh." She's like, "Well, I mean, she's like, I mean, whatever." She's like, "I didn't know." She's like, "I mean, you're still working fine." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean," I was like, "But I'll tell you what." I'm like, "I don't think I'm gonna keep taking these. These feel like opioids." they're like, "Oh, they're not supposed to be habit forming, and they're supposed to be natural." I'm like, "That's great. They feel like opioids."
Opium is a natural plant.
So it's plant based, and then I started to notice who was coming in there to get them. And I was like, "Hey, man, you guys carry kratom?" And I'm just like, Like, "Hey, man, you guys have kratom?"
Yeah.
We have it. Do you guys have the strongest kind in red and the most? Oh, we're out of that. Oh, man, really? Well, shit, man. Well, So like, when people come in, like, so when people started coming in, like, "I'm gonna try some kratom," I'm like, maybe don't try it. If you don't, I'm like, are you trying to beat an opioid addiction? And they're like, "No." I'm like, "You don't need it."
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Right.
It's supposed to have other. I don't know.
So people are using it potentially to wean off of an opium addiction. Is that what you mean?
Totally.
Okay. Got it.
Absolutely. It has a similar effect. It also, I think, affects the opioid receptors in the brain, but it's not supposed to be as habit forming.
Interesting. Well, I can tell you the effect that I had. I tried to somebody, was just like, "Hey, one of our close friends got a legit, red tie kratom connect somehow." And I was just like, I'll take your word for it. She said it was going to, potentially have kind of a, a sort of a, I don't know how to describe it, like kind of a general openness to like being emotionally, just emotionally more open, maybe not so heady about some things, maybe a little bit more in your body. You're definitely more relaxed. Kind of that opium kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're much more out of the front of your brain, a little bit more towards your spine, in terms of like where your body awareness is, and your body gets really like heavy and stuff. But it took a number of hours for me to feel anything. Melissa and I both took some actually, and about 3 or 4 hours in, we had realized that we had naturally been feeling really cuddly with each other, and it just, I don't know, we ended up making love for like 2 or 3 hours, and it was really great.
Nice.
And there was, it was subtle. It was a subtle experience.
Right.
It's really hard to really pinpoint what the experience was like. I would say it's honestly like a really light dose of MDMA without the kind of methy upperness.
Right. Yeah. I could see that.
I
can see that being the case.
Definitely. And it was on par with what the person that provided it for us was saying was what it was going to be like. So that was pretty interesting. It's things like that I really enjoy to do every now and again. I don't want to do it often. I'm not the kind of person who needs to have that like experience every day and need to continue it all. No. It loses its. I know the value of not doing things all the time and like to put things off and then to have a big moment with it.
I think that's what's cool about psychedelics, right? Is like kind of by the nature of the experience. Like you don't want to, you don't want to do mushrooms every day.
I don't.
Nope.
Although I do appreciate people that microdose LSD, but that's not
psilocybin. I mean, you can microdose that too.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Really cool.
I kind of
And there's cool. Same. They're in the same. In the same room.
But that's a different method when you're going into like microdosing as opposed to what I think you were implying was like a 2.5 dose. No,
you don't want to like trip ball. Like God,
no, I don't want to trip balls every day. That's
whereas right. Something like where like the water soluble addictive chemical drugs have that tendency to like lure somebody into an everyday a dietary use, right? It just becomes part of there, and you see it. Same thing with like alcoholics or cigarette smokers.
I mean, cannabis too.
Where that's now I consider that a little bit different.
It's a different thing.
It's a completely different thing.
It's different.
It's not something that it's like cannabis using every day. You're not gonna like. You're not going to be falling out by the end of the day if you wake up.
Not likely.
Not like not like
alcohol,
not like a drinker.
Right.
Now they're used to it. Where I get up and I crack my first beer at 8:30 in the morning, and I'm just slowly drinking Coors all day. But by the end of the day, you've had 12, 13, 14 beers, and you don't realize that you're sloppy drunk, but you're a sloppy drunk and barely even there, and they just do that every day thinking I'm fine. And by the end of the night, I'm a little drunk. And it's like, no, you've been belligerent for the last 10 hours.
Yes.
Yes. Whereas, the worst you get from somebody who smokes, weed all day, every day is
that's what I was kind of what I was going to say. It was like there's some mild side effects to cannabis inhalation in the lungs, but it's definitely not on the level of like cigarettes with cancer and lung cancer or not alcohol and liver cancer, or even there's even other cancers involved with alcohol too, but like and anyway, that's just a long conversation.
And we should wrap it soon.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's wrap it. All right. So guys, if you are watching us on Twitch, thank you very, very much.
Definitely.
I know we kind of ran through it today. We're just getting the damn thing done. We wanted to see how it felt to do a show that was under 2.5 hours, and we're almost there. We're getting real close.
We get pretty good.
We're right there. We can't help ourselves.
This was fun, man. I had a good time today. Good. Yeah.
This was a good one. I like our new. I like this little setup. Every week the setup gets better, and I love it.
Feels clean.
It does feel clean. It's clean. Nice.
Like,
it's nice.
Yeah, it's not so cluttered. Just the necessities.
I almost launched into the song, and I was like, no. And see, now you're gonna fucking do it. This is why we have to go. If you're If you're on Twitch, please make sure that you follow us. You should see the little banner right there. If you're watching on YouTube, come find us on Twitch. We're at twitch.tv/thelightroast. Make sure you at least follow us. If you want to become a subscriber, that would be awesome. We would benefit greatly from that. We've also got our tip button right down here on the bottom. If you'd like us to be able to eat food while we also make the show for you, please send us money. Yeah. We appreciate you.
We got our first $5 tip the other day.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's cool.
Hell yeah. I'll take that. That's a good place to start. Follow us on our socials. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow Jason here on Twitch. I think that's it for me. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify or Google or TuneIn or Stitcher, please rate us and review, and check back in with us. We're gonna finally put our schedule up here on Twitch TV. We'll be here every Tuesday. I think we're gonna pick somewhere around probably like 2-3 o'clock. We'll figure it out. It'll be here. You'll get notifications. That's it for me. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's good.
Hell yeah,
dude. Good show. We'll see y'all later.
Very good show. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for trying the light roast.
Yep.
My room is dimly lit and the world's all full of shit. On days like this, I need a fix. Wake me up.